I am Pokalainui, and I am the host of this program. You are listening to KWI 1080 on the AM dial. In the earlier hour, we talked about if we're not all of these bad things that the U.S. has been found responsible for, such as the Abu Ghraib tortures, what is going on in where is that, in Guantanamo, and what had been happening in the My massacre, and these whole list of very dastardly events, then what are we? What is the United States? Now, more recently, we have heard that Leon Panetta is threatening. Well, he doesn't use the word threatening. He says. He vows, I guess, I think that was a term that he uses, to increase militarization, U.S. militarization into the Pacific. And so people seem to be encouraged that the U.S. military will be coming here in Hawaii and in other parts of the Pacific, as if the military is supposed to be the initial arm for economic development, when in actuality the military is the arm for war. And they call it for defensive war, but we have seen in the last 10 years at least, and many years before that, that the U.S. military is not really a defensive unit. It has been an aggressive unit going into Vietnam, going into Afghanistan, into Iraq, and into all of these other places in between, especially in Central and South America. It has been used as an aggressive force. So I don't really share the celebratory tone of Panetta suggesting that the U.S. military will be increasing its presence in the Pacific. If you have a different opinion or would like to shed some light on some information behind this discussion, our telephone number here is 524 1080. 524-1080. We'll put you on the radio and see what you have to say about these matters. Now, some people have gone to the extreme, and one person is Sherwood Ross, and he has gone to the extreme of suggesting that the label fascist or fascist could be applied to the United States. And so if we took some time to actually listen to what he had to say, and we'll let you judge whether or not he has gone over the edge or he's still within reasonableness by the fact that he can support his arguments by on a factual basis. He says, if there's any nation in the world that is well on the way to meriting the admittedly vague label of fascist, surely it is the United States. Now, this Alexander Cockburn is a political journalist, and in the May 21st issue of The Nation magazine, Cockburn reels off a list of characteristics of fascist society which seem, unfortunately, to apply to the U.S. today. And here are some of the characteristics that he had listed. A fascist regime is a sworn foe of the right to assembly, unauthorized marches, and encampments. Cockburn points out this, of course, was demonstrated only a few days ago in Chicago at the summit meeting of the NATO ministers. Police tactics were so heavy-handed that it took exemplary courage for demonstrators to turn out. A few weeks earlier in Syracuse, New York, area sheriffs arrested 33 protesters for the offense of walking on a public road. The Hancock 33 had not even reached the Air Force base of that name to protest its drone warplanes when stopped. America is a network of SWAT teams and kindred state-employed thugs on permanent red alert, according to Cockburn. Number 2, a fascist regime spies obsessively on its citizens. Cockburn says, study U.S. laws on secret surveillance since the Patriot Act, and you will find procedures that would have been the envy of the East Germans. Additionally, the U.S. has spied on virtually the entire world through its echelon system, eavesdropping even on the telephones of the Pope and the Secretary General of the United Nations. Washington reporter Bill Bloom has described the National Security Agency as running, quote, a vacuum cleaner in the sky. Number 3, fascist regimes, ultimately the expression of corporate power, repress labor in all efforts to organize. Cockburn writes, the onslaught here began with Taft-Hartley in 1947 and continued with methodical ferocity during the Reagan and Clinton years. What's more, he adds, Obama reneged on pledges to make organizing easier, froze the wages of federal workers, and advanced free trade across the globe. Attacks on collective bargaining are pervasive. The rolls of organized labor members today are approximately only 1/3 as numerous as they were in 1950, dropping from 36 million to 12 million. Number 4, fascism is a system of extreme, methodical state repression, violent in contour and threat, buttressed by ultra-nationalist mythology, a militarist culture, and imperial ambition. In the 1980s, Cockburn continues, America started locking up its poor people. In 2009, 7 million adults were under correctional supervision, he said. We might add here that 2.4 million people are behind bars in the U.S. prison today. Thousands for victimless crimes and tens of thousands in inhumane, mind-destroying, solitary punishment cells. Overcrowding is widespread and ever more prisoners are being held in, quote, privatized confinement. Prisons whose administrators have a vested financial interest in making them serve maximum time. Wow. Here's 2 more. A fascist system uses constant harassment. Last year, Cockburn continues, there were more than 600,000 stop and frisk in New York City, overwhelmingly of black and Hispanics. 600,000 just in New York City? Okay. And finally, he says, ultimately, a fascist state claims the right to imprison its victims without terms or hope of redress or legal representation. And the whole concept of habeas corpus is contained right there. As the executive power, Cockburn writes, in the form of the president, it claims the right to kill its enemies, whether citizens, that's Aulaki, or others, that's Guantanamo, without judicial review. In other words, rule by decree, which is what Hitler's Enabling Act warned him in March 1933. Cockburn concludes, we live in a fascist country, proto-fascist, if you want to allay public disquiet, though there's scant sign that most Americans are disturbed by the trends. Somehow one asks, how do you wake up the American public to at least hear these claims, these accusations, and begin the discussion, the discourse, the debate about whether or not the U.S. is indeed a fascist state or not. Sometimes it's hard to engage in such a discussion, especially when you have always seen the so-called the other side as being the enemy. And who was that who said, we looked in the mirror and, oh wait, the enemy is us. Was it cartoon character? Okay. All right, this is Poka Lainui. If you want to call and share an opinion, our telephone number here is 524-1080. 524-1080, and we'll put you on the radio. Something else that did come across my attention, and that is that we have recently gone through Memorial Day events, observations, celebrations, or memorializations. The events with regards to the December 7 events and what happened at Pearl Harbor was also in the news. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But first, let's go to our telephone and welcome our caller. If you would like to call, our telephone number here is 524-1080. Aloha, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi.
Yes, hello.
Hi, aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, boy, you sound far away, a lot of static.
Oh, okay.
You having any problems with that?
No, I haven't.
System?
I didn't know that there was a problem. You're the first caller, so this is the first time I'm hearing.
What happened? Where did everybody go? I've been listening. I've been out in the yard here and listening. Nobody has called in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
you sound okay now. I don't know. I guess this is the system out here.
Okay.
In Nalo country, yeah?
Yeah.
You've been talking about this Mr. Panetta having all of this authority, yeah? And it seems that, you mentioned about 1933, Hitler coming into power, yeah?
Right.
And political power, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he became the chancellor, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, with him, basically, later was Mussolini and Stalin, yeah?
Okay.
Russia.
Yeah.
And they joined in, but they went as far to get internal control power, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
In their respective countries, yeah? Italy and Russia.
Yeah.
While Hitler went outside, yeah, of his German territory, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And by the time of 1939, they had taken over occupied France, yeah?
Okay.
And then in doing so, they were able to launch attacks on England via using V2 rockets, which were known as buzz bombs, yeah?
Okay.
Because they haven't perfected the controlling methods of these rockets yet, yeah?
I see.
So what happened, these rockets normally would go over head over heels and just tumble as they're going by, making a horrible noise, yeah?
I see.
But I think basically they did that so they would scare the English people, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, America was standing by. They couldn't get into this war because they had immigrants from Germany, immigrants from Italy, and immigrants from Russia. So they needed to have a new enemy created, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And that enemy, as we know, became Japan, yeah?
Okay.
And that launched them into the war. I'm referring to this because it seems, I don't believe that Mr. Obama is going to leave office, whether he is re-elected or not. And I say this because the United States of America has been in a national emergency since 1933.
Okay.
And as such, they do not have to prescribe to the Constitution. And basically, right now, they're going to be counting the ballots in the country that they conquered, Spain, yeah, in 1898, and stopped the colonization of Spain, yeah?
Okay.
And Spain is going to be counting the ballots for the American people, if you can believe that. My prediction,
okay.
Boca,
yeah,
is that Obama will not leave office.
That's saying whether elected or not, he will not leave
elected
office.
or not.
Okay.
And there is on the network now, internet, there's reference to a great October surprise. Now, this surprise may come from the powers to be that's in office now, or maybe from the people themselves who are fed up with this whole thing. But they're making reference, I don't know if you've seen it or not,
no,
of an October surprise.
Okay.
And we don't know what that is going to be.
Okay, let's go back to the first, because I think there's 2 points that you make here. The October surprise is just something that we don't know, so there's no sense talking about something unless we have some basis for it. But with regards to Obama not leaving office, it seems that he may be building a regime such that he need not leave office based on the National Emergency Declaration. And that's essentially what you're saying. Well, what other factual basis do you have for it? Because you have had presidents in power and who have left office since 1933 and did not use this declaration to override the what appears to be the constitutional vote. So what is it that you have other than the emergency declaration?
Well, I strongly believe that all of the other presidents had one thing in common that Obama does not have. They were natural-born Americans. And Obama is not. Are you aware of a new document that is circulating now that is titled The Dreams of My Real Father?
I've read some of that. It has come to me,
by Joel Gibbard,
Yeah, but let's
95-minute.
But even with that, how do you contend with, and this goes right back to the birther's claim that he was not born in Hawaii or that his mother was not an American citizen. How do you contend with those 2 things when you have in the newspapers printed at the time of his birth that he was born in Honolulu, and irrespective of his place of birth, he was born from his mother? Or are you saying that even his mother was not his real mother? Because irrespective of who his father was, that does not extend nationality to him. It's through his mother. So how do you circumvent that, even if you accept all of the claims by this writer that Mr. Obama Sr. was not his dad?
Yeah, well, it seems in the early stages of what was considered to be a natural born, they make reference to the father and not mainly reference to the mother.
But even if the father was who they claim the father was, that would not have extended citizenship to Obama, other than the fact that he was born in Hawaii. So let's assume he was born in Africa of an African father, but the mother was still American. He would still be a natural-born American. So how do you go around that one?
Well, there are constitutional scholars that beg to differ with it, basically. But again, the courts in itself, of course, seem to be backing up whatever he is saying, whatever Obama is saying.
No, this.
I think for me, basically, this whole thing has been. You know what? When you were elected, you were like if Hayden Burgess became president of the United States, right? Okay. Now you graduated from where? Waipahu.
No, Waianae.
Waianae. Okay. All right. Now, all of your background, your activities in schools, would be known. I mean, your school would be so happy, your community would be so happy, And in the case of Obama, everything is a secret.
The
3 colleges that he went to. Okay, is a secret.
Was it a secret?
The high school,
Yeah.
Okay, it's a secret.
No, it's not. I know people who were in that class with him.
Yeah.
But, so why do you say it's a secret?
He didn't go to Punahou.
Yeah.
I'm saying that why is there such a secretive about his background?
Oh, what is a secret about his high school graduation, first of all?
There seems to be no secret there.
Okay, what is the secret about his college and the fact that he graduated?
Harvard.
Yeah.
There is no one can get into his documents. No one can get into his transcripts. It's a normal thing when you have a president and from a school and everything. The schools like to take credit.
Yeah, but they're also guarded by certain privacy rules, just like the Hawaii Department of Health. They said, no, I'm sorry, we have privacy rules. Unless you're related to the individual, you cannot come in and get a copy of his birth certificate. It's not a matter of taking credit, but at what point do we say a politician loses his rights of privacy? And the schools are also going to be very protective of their privacy, or the privacy of the students.
When does a politician divorce himself from being a private citizen?
At his will, but the institution cannot simply give out the information. And when Obama gave out the information of his birth, for example, people say, oh, we don't believe it. We want to get it directly from. Well, that's tough. That's how the law has always been, even before he ran for office, that you cannot get this private information from Hawaii. The Republicans have never tried to get that information from Hawaii, and they know what the law is. So what they're doing is they're trying to create these issues where I don't think they are issues. The idea of who is his real father, well, what difference does it make? Whether he's one African or another African, he was still not a citizen of the United States, so it does not have any coloring on his American citizenship. It's all through his mother and through the place of birth. So this book about, well, we have some information that his real dad was so-and-so. So what's the beef there?
Well, his real dad was known to be one of the earlier black communists in America.
Even there, what's the beef there? Even if he was, does it address his citizenship? Absolutely not. No, the other side is, well, what is his politics? Then address him for his politics, not for his dad's or his granddad's or who he is ancestor of, but address his politics.
Are you saying that his politics basically is porno at this point, all the things that he's been doing?
Oh, no, definitely not. Definitely not. And that's why, I've been so critical of the engagements in these foreign lands, as well as his policies here or in the United States, as well as here in Hawaii. But whenever you deal with democracy, the question is always, what are the alternate choices? And who do you have? You have Mitt Romney, very clearly a member of the 1%er, and he's pushing the 1%.
Yeah. Well, again, I'll close with my prediction.
Okay.
That he will not leave office.
Okay.
One way or the other.
Okay. Thank you.
Brother?
Thank you for your call.
I'll go back to my yard.
All right. Take care. Aloha. And if you would like to call and share an opinion, our telephone number is 524-1080. Let's go to our next caller. Aloha caller. Thank you for calling. Welcome to the program.
You guys mentioned a surprise. Memorial Day, they mentioned there was like an asteroid that passed by us.
Okay.
I was saying, what the hell do we have over here? Like, how could you miss a 15-mile big rock coming at you? They're going to let us know after it got hit. If in this case, God forbid, we would have hit one area, would they let us know later on or something?
Oh, okay. I got no idea what you're talking about. I'm not aware of it.
They let us know after the fact. Like after they pass by us, they let us know.
Okay.
And usually they let us know before.
Okay.
All right.
Any comment with regards to what we have been talking about in this program?
Regarding that, the thing the gentleman was you were talking with.
Yes.
I think there's a book, like. Well, for me, I think it was Obama was just trying to gin up to sell his book that he showed that the actual way he was born, he put down Kenya.
I don't think you're accurate on that. And I think there is another book that someone else has put out, The Real Father of Barack Obama, and that is what is being proposed. But it's not the Obama book.
I think there was the thing that became Dreams of My Father.
Yeah.
The back. How they say the publisher will want to know your background, and they put down his date, birth, all that stuff, and they put a place of birth, and he put down Kenya.
No, I don't believe that.
They had a pamphlet for like 12 years.
Yeah.
Only like 2007, that's when they took the thing out.
Yeah, I don't believe what you're saying is accurate. And what is the name of the book? Dreams of My Father?
It was back in 1990 something. It was on the other. I forgot the name of the place, but the thing was like he had like a publisher, and the publisher they asked for the background, and that's what. But for basically what we were going, everybody saying, oh no, he was just doing that to gym up, to get sell his book.
No,
he was just trying to sell his book.
Okay, now you're saying that Barack Obama claimed earlier that he was born in Kenya, not his father was born in Kenya.
Like the pamphlet is out.
Yeah,
somebody probably know where it is, but basically for us, it would say the same thing. Like that lady in Massachusetts claimed she was Cherokee.
Okay. Well, I don't believe you're accurate in claiming that Barack Obama had previously claimed that he was born in Kenya.
No, where he put down a paper.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Just to sell his book.
Yeah, and I'd like to have you, if you have the time, to go back and look at the specific reference so that we can be accurate instead of just leaving it hanging out there. Okay.
So you call it like an author of the book or something. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you for calling. Aloha. And we go to our next caller. Aloha caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Bogue.
Yes, hi.
This is absurd. Either I don't know what's going on, or something is really funny. Okay, how can this little baby that was signified born at Killarney Hospital in about 1961, and put in the Honolulu Advertiser and Star Bulletin. Like they put all baby announcements, from the health department. How did they know 47 years later this little baby was going to be the president of the United States?
Yeah.
To me, it reeks of kind of racism too. And then there's a lot of right-wing folks who just, I mean, their whole thing is to get this man of color out of the office. I mean, any means possible. And if they have to use diversionary tactics, just ways to kind of get away from the issues and say, oh yeah, he's a Kenyan, whatever. It's absurd. How can they can't? I mean, and not only that, from what I understand, there were some witnesses, a few other moms that were having their babies about the same time. They're in the hospital, and they understood. I mean, they remember.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a diversionary tactic. Another way to not have to face the real issues that so many of us are facing.
Yeah. So
like the deal about poverty that you hardly ever hear about, and other things that are just absolutely important. And
okay. So you see, in all of this, the birthers claim there's some tinge of racism involved here, although they don't want to call it that.
Oh, absolutely. Down south. I mean, I remember down south when I was traveling through there. Well, that was in the 70s. But I still remember. I mean, the blatant. I mean, it still is that way.
Okay.
The last thing in the world they wanted is in the White House a person of color.
The White House.
I mean, and no matter what,
Okay.
and Anyway, I just
all right.
The whole thing seems so absurd. I don't see how they can prove anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's all very upfront legal. I mean, who? Unless somebody was, well, I mean, see, here's how absurd it is. I heard that some people say, well, he was picked by the CIA to be born, and we raised him to make sure he was going to be the president and all this kind of stuff or whatever. I mean, of course, that's absurd too.
Okay, let's hear what the other callers have to say. Thanks for calling. Take care. Hi, aloha.
Have a good day.
Yeah. And we go to our next caller. Our telephone number here is 524-1080. Aloha caller, welcome to the program.
Hello, Puck.
Yes, hello.
Well, I must agree with what Dave was saying at the end of his discussion. And I want to congratulate you on your patience. You never seem to be able to exhaust them. But look at the time wasted on this kind of subject when you were just talking about this incredible thing called fascism that obviously is now controlling our country. So this is what is so discouraging. I do not know what vitamins you take to make you keep going. Really, congratulations on it at any rate. I think you won that one, but I'm sure there were many more.
Well, I think it's important that we hear from the full spectrum, let me put it that way, from the full spectrum.
Yes, but over and over and over and over.
It does get exhausting.
Okay, thanks, folks.
Thanks for calling. Aloha. And if you would like to call and share an opinion, our telephone number here is 524-1080. We'll give you a chance to speak up, and maybe what we need to do is sort of cool the discussions down and give you some time to think about these things.
Kaulana nā pua o Hawaii Kupa'a mahope o ka aina Iki mai ka elele o ka loko ino Pala pala anunu me ka paka Pane mai Hawaii moku o ke ave Koku ana honoa o Pilani Ka ko'o mai ka ua I o mano Pa'aku me ke oni o ka puhi hewa Aolea e kau I ka pulima Maluna o ka pepa o ka enemi Po o hui ai nā ku ai hewa I ka pono sivila a